Welcome to Indiana Sports Beat Radio, presented by Andy Moore Honda of Bloomington and Southern Stone Restaurant.
Looks over the middle, second guesses, fires, throws. Does he make the catch in the end zone? Yes! Touchdown! Oladipo to win it.
Another one! Another one! Another one!
Huge hole! He's at the 30! He's gonna go! 10, 5, touchdown! Jonathan Taylor!
Worked out by Burke. Bounces into Cody. Puts it up. Scores!
Now, from the Golf Club at Eagle Point Studios, here's your host, Jim Coyle.
Hello, everybody. Welcome in. Indiana Sports Beat Radio coming to you here on this Wednesday. Midway point of the week. It's Christmas week on top of that. And as it should be, Christmas is going to be on a Saturday. So that's nice. Works out perfect. And then the following week, you've got New Year's Day on a Saturday. So New Year's Eve's on a Friday night. Works out perfect. So hope everyone's doing well, ready for the Christmas week. John, did you get all your... John, you still there? Did you get all your presents wrapped?
You know, thankfully I have a lovely wife that helps me do a lot of that. But I do still have some of my own to wrap here in the next couple days.
I have to wrap all of my presents. But it's not like it's that many, but yeah, I have I've yet to do that. I don't have wrapping paper.
Maybe head out to Dollar General or something close by.
I'm planning on doing that. But I'm like, yeah. That's always a last minute thing. I'm a last minute person every year.
And this year especially, I don't know what it is, but it's just been hard to enjoy the Christmas season. And not that like I can't enjoy it, that it's a bad thing, but there's just so much going on. I don't know if it's the return of full-blown sports or what it may be, but it's just been hard to really take in for the Christmas season this year for some reason. I don't know if you feel the same way, but
no, I really it always flies by me, everything.
Maybe I'm just slowly getting into that part of my life since I'm becoming more of an older human being at this point.
Let's see. Did we have a college ball game last night? I think we did. They haven't really. The good ones don't start till like after Christmas.
Yeah, those New Year's Day bowl games.
Yeah. See, right. So far, all we've had is the Tell Greeter Cure Bowl, the Bahamas Bowl, the RoofClaim.com Boca Raton Bowl. That's funny. The Cricket Celebration Bowl.
Here's the thing about these bowl games. I know they have to have sponsors. Go ahead.
PUBG Mobile New Mexico Bowl. The Radiance Technologies Independence Bowl, the Lending Tree Bowl, the Jimmy Kimmel LA Bowl presented by Stifle.
Wow. Have they had the Barstool Sports Bowl yet?
The Ariel Carriers New Orleans Bowl. There's the Myrtle Beach Bowl presented by Texas Tax Act, rather. The famous Idaho Potato Bowl, the Tropical Smoothie Cafe Frisco Bowl.
Wow.
The Lockheed Martin Armed Forces Bowl is yet to be played. The Frisco Football Classic. The Union Home Mortgage Gasparilla Bowl.
My gosh, these sponsors. You don't need a title sponsor that big.
Easy Post Hawaii Bowl. Well, wasn't they our sponsor?
I think a gasparilla is a type of flower, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, okay.
A fun fact about the Barstool Sports Bowl, they have Scott Stapp, the lead singer of Creed, performing the halftime show there.
I haven't even found that one yet. There's the Quick Lane Bowl, the Military Bowl, presented by Peraton, the Ticket Smarter Birmingham Bowl, the Serve Pro First Responder Bowl, the AutoZone Liberty Bowl, the San Diego County Credit Union Holiday Bowl. At least they left the Holiday Bowl name on there. I hate when they take the names off of them. The Guaranteed Rate Bowl. See,
that's the word. Whenever your bowl doesn't even have like the
Yes,
actual bowl name and it's the sponsor,
drives
that's when you
me-
don't want to be in.
I hate that. Here's a great one though. The Wasabi Fenway Bowl.
Was
The New Era Pinstripes Bowl. Well, you know, Cheez-It Bowl. That's funny. Winner gets a bowl of Cheez-Its. The Valero Alamo Bowl. Oh my God, this just goes on and on. The Duke's Mayo Bowl. Trans Perfect Music Bowl, City Bowl. Chick-fil-A Pete's Bowl. SRS Distribution Las Vegas Bowl. Tax Slayer Gator Bowl. Tony the Tiger Sun Bowl.
Tony the Tiger must be in attendance.
Barstool Sports Arizona Bowl. There you go. Central Michigan and Boise State. Not exactly a biggie. Then you got the Outback Bowl, the VRBO Citrus Bowl, PlayStation Fiesta Bowl, the Rose Bowl, presented by Capital One. See, they don't allow anybody to take their name.
Yeah.
All-State Sugar Bowl, the Tax Act Texas Bowl, yada, yada. So there you go. There's all your cereal bowls. Boy. That's... Michigan is the only team this season not to trail by double digits in a game. How about that?
Wow. Hey, let's go ahead and we started late. Let's go ahead and hit our first break.
Do it. We're back with more Indiana Sports Beat Radio right after this.
We'll be right back to the Golf Club at Eagle Point Studios for more Indiana Sports Beat Radio with Jim Coyle, presented by Andy Moore Honda of Bloomington and Southern Stone Restaurants.
Whether it's a celebration.
All right. And normally we wouldn't obviously take a break that early, but got to get us back on track. Yeah, I guess we're just going to get DJ at 9:10 with Charlie. I tried moving him up to 8:30 because I didn't want him and Charlie to be on at the same time. Not that it's bad, but you know, it's basketball and football. You can't really talk about the same thing, I guess, you know. Or maybe I'll let him know he can come on right now, but
Yeah.
I'll just tell him to come when he's ready, because who knows?
Well, I mean, it benefits us.
Yeah. Apparently, the IU women's games canceled due to COVID. I don't know if it's because of Indiana or if it's because of the opponent.
It's not.
Tell you what, the men's basketball is lucky to not have their stuff canceled too. It seems like everybody's getting their stuff canceled or postponed now. And they may luck out too because after their two non-conference matchups, their first two conference games are teams that are already dealing with COVID, so they'll probably be done dealing with it by the time they get to them. Penn State. State.
Who was it? Who was it that IU women was supposed to play?
I saw it. I don't remember.
I do too. I forgot about it.
Let me see if I can pull it up here real fast. For today, let's say the 22nd. Are they not in the top 25 anymore?
Who?
Indiana?
Oh, yeah. Right, the top
I'm not
10.
seeing their. Oh, I guess it would have been yesterday. I can't see it. Oh, it was Wright State. Wright State.
Yep.
All right, we got 10 seconds.
Or on this station each weekday. If we're not on the station where you live, we should be. Ask for Indiana Sports Beat Radio.
This segment is brought to you by Andy Moore Honda of Bloomington. Now back to the Golf Club at Eagle Point Studios for more Indiana Sports Beat Radio with Jim Coyle, presented by Andy Moore Honda of Bloomington and Southern Stone Restaurants.
Welcome back. Hope you're having a great day, good week, Christmas week. Hope have your presents wrapped under the tree. You're ready to get going. Indiana women's basketball had a game canceled due to COVID with Wright State. Problems on Wright State's side, not on Indiana's. But it's becoming an issue. More and more of the Big East men's basketball schedule continues to be disrupted. Wednesday night, Georgetown and Providence resulted in the third cancellation and forfeit this season. Because of the issues within the Hoyas program per Big East policy, the game will be a forfeit and a loss for Georgetown and a win for number 22 Providence, who just entered the top 25 rankings after beating UConn last week. Last week, Seton Hall had to forfeit and take a loss in its conference opener, and when its game against St. John's was canceled because of COVID. So that, in essence, probably helps Indiana because St. John's gets the win over Seton Hall. I don't know how that actually works, if it goes into the metrics, but hey, just thinking positively, right? But if that's the case and it counts as a win, I don't know. There won't be any scores and numbers to throw in the metrics, but hopefully that would help Indiana. I'll be darned. So there's that. But yeah, that's becoming an issue. The new AP poll did come out, of course. Baylor's still number one. No surprise there. Duke, number 2. Purdue is at number 3. Gonzaga, number 4. Then you got UCLA, Arizona. How about Arizona? How about what's going on the recovery from the issues that they've been going through? Who in the heck is Arizona's coach? He's doing a hell of a job because they're coming through and off of the deals that they've gone through.
Tommy Lloyd is their new head coach. I'm trying to see where he was before because I don't recognize that name.
He's doing a hell of a job, huh?
Former Gonzaga assistant, Tommy Lloyd.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Remember that now. Worked out well for them, hasn't it? They made the right move. And it's working out very, very well. Now, is Arizona going to get a little bump? Yeah, they'll probably get a little slap on the wrist like everyone else gets, because there's not much the NCAA is going to do anymore, I don't think. I just don't believe that. They'd rather see the teams on the floor making money for the NCAA, making money for the conferences, making money for everybody. ESPN wants them on the floor. And if ESPN wants them on the floor, that means a lot. So just don't see a ton happening as we've seen in the past. So Arizona is possibly back as a force, depending on what comes out of that NCAA investigation. But man, you got to give him credit. He's doing a hell of a job. Indiana, what is today? Wednesday? Indiana plays tonight. Are you in the lineup, John?
Am I in the lineup?
Yeah.
The starting lineup against Northern Kentucky?
Yeah.
The Norse of Northern Kentucky. I think that's some sort of, I don't know,
Norseman.
Risk of
Norse
sounding
or Norseman?
like an idiot.
Norse, Norseman.
Is that what
Northman.
that is?
Yes. Northern Kentucky, one of the teams that actually used to be one of those Division II powers like Southern Indiana, Bellarmine down in Louisville. Trying to think of one of the other schools around here that have had a lot of success on the Division II level in basketball. We all know about Southern Indiana, Bruce Pearl having been there. Northern Kentucky was one of those schools too. They moved up to Division I a couple of years ago, so they're going through that battle.
Once.
Bellarmine moved up to Division I last year, and I think would have been eligible for the tournament, but they're not eligible because it takes. Right now, the NCAA has a stupid rule that you have to be in Division I for like 4 years or something before you can go to the tournament. It's ignorant. I think they're going to probably change that, but as of right now, that's what it is. But yeah, Northern Kentucky was one of those teams, so it's going to be a scrappy. They're going to scrap. So.
Yeah, it's definitely a team. I don't really know how they play. Obviously, I've not seen them play this year, but I can see this game kind of being along the lines of the way the Eastern Michigan game was. Not because it's the first game of the season per se, but it's the fact that you're probably not expecting much out of a team that's probably this low on the totem pole. But at the same time, if you don't come out ready, they'll be ready to fire back and make this game closer than it should.
See, that's the thing. Indiana has to fight. It's Christmas. Everybody's gone. There's no one on campus. There are no students here. The players, other than the athletes. So they're just, school's out. So it's a weird time, and you've got to get up for a game tomorrow. You're ready for Christmas break. There's just so much. So a lot going on. So it's hard to get up for these kind of games, but they're going to have to. Northern Kentucky's only 4-6. They're in the Horizon League, so we always have some fun teams come out of the Horizon League.
Speaking of Kentucky directional schools, the UK Wildcats taking on WKU tonight in place of Louisville after Louisville had to cancel for COVID.
What?
Did I say something?
What? Yeah, you said EKU or something.
Western Kentucky. I mean, whatever I said wrong, if I said something wrong.
Western is playing. Yeah, Western is playing the game against Kentucky tonight in place of Louisville. Is it Louisville?
Yep.
For tornado relief down there in Western Kentucky. So yeah, congratulations to them. But in doing that, so hopefully they can raise some money for that. That area was hit very, 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 very hard. My daughter lives right there. She's been volunteering since she's been home from college every day. That area was hit really, really hard down there. Luckily, they were all right. But yes, tonight Indiana taking on the Norsemen. So they're going to be fired up. They get to come into Assembly Hall. It's one of those opportunities where the guys come in and start taking pictures of Assembly Hall and this, that, and the other thing. So Indiana's going to have to get off to a good start. And they have to work on the things that they need to work on. Playing a complete game. Taking smart shots, finding the right shots, the things that we've talked about, getting shots for Parker Stewart, Xavier Johnson running the offense more, taking scoring opportunities when they come, but not forcing them, not creating them, create for other people more. I think Miller Kopp needs to become a little bit more involved in the offense. He's a great mid-range shooter. He's not looking to shoot. I know the offense runs through Trace Jackson Davis as it should. He's an All-American. But I wonder sometimes if some of those guys are looking too hard for that. Miller Kopp, one of those that I'm thinking of. He's a veteran, man. He's played. So the pieces are there for Indiana. They just have to come together. And I know everyone's getting kind of, man, it's still December. It is still December. And I don't think people understand it just takes time to gel. It's like baking. It just takes time for this to come together. It takes time to get Xavier Johnson doing exactly what he needs to do, to get Parker Stewart doing exactly what he needs to do, to get Miller Kopp doing exactly what he needs to do. Those three guys, they're three starters. You get them all on the same page, well, that makes a big difference. It'll make a gigantic difference. And that's, we always talk about teams like Michigan State and Tom Izzo, how they are great in March. Well, that's what they're talking about. That slow process of getting better. And that's what it takes. John, are you all ready for Christmas?
The one thing I wish that we had done for Christmas around here that we didn't get around to was decorating our house this year. So I'm ready. Obviously, physically, we talked about gift wrapping earlier, but I feel like in terms of the spirit of Christmas, I feel like I'm lagging behind in that department this year. But yeah, I am ready for Saturday, Christmas Day.
I had the comments turned off by mistake. Didn't have them on there. So I can hit those. Hello, Michael. Everyone ready for Christmas, I hope? For whatever reason, I can't. I'm back to that deal where I can't hit the comments on, John.
So you can't touch them. Okay.
Tim made bourbon balls last night. Man.
Oh, you're way behind in the comments. That was earlier.
Well, I know.
That made me think earlier, and I was going to make a comment. There should be a bowl called the Jim Beam Bourbon Bowl or something along those lines. I'm surprised we haven't seen that yet. Why isn't that a thing?
Oh, there you go. I was talking to someone last night, though, speaking of bourbon balls, and said, have you ever had bourbon ball ice cream? Woo. Yeah, that's some good stuff. Good stuff. Yeah. I expect a small box sample of those in the mail. Whoever made those, man. Let's see. Yep. Indiana State looking for its next opponent. Do they have a game canceled as well?
Heck, you could just draw a team out of a hat and they're probably looking for an opponent right now. That's how many teams are on COVID pauses. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, it is game day at least. Let's see.
I don't know if you all talked about this yesterday with Mike DeCourcy or anybody, but I don't get why the NCAA doesn't change the COVID protocol like the NFL did, to where if you're asymptomatic, it doesn't affect the fact that you tested positive and make the team sit. Does that make sense?
Yes, it's ridiculous. They're still going off of last year. That's the thing. They haven't adjusted, and you have to adjust. They're not testing as frequently as they were. But yeah, I think that a lot of these cancellations are unnecessary, to be honest with you. I just think that
predicament where not everybody's going to have the same amount of games played. Some teams may play an extra game because they schedule an extra team. It's just, I don't know how to navigate it. Obviously, the NCAA's got to figure that out, but it's a mess.
Daniel, I can't. I was going to put it up there. Daniel Evans pointing out that Indiana was beaten by a Horizon team just a few years ago. That's right. It doesn't take long. Hey, anybody. Indiana lost to Indiana State. Indiana lost to IU Fort Wayne.
Indiana State's Missouri Valley. Who's the Horizon team that beat Indiana?
Good question. Dan, you'll have to put that back up.
State or something silly like that, or I don't know.
No. They didn't lose it by that bad. Doug, down in Australia, talking about Al Durham as Providence. He's having a great time there. He's having a great season. Yeah, the Pacers are horrible, Jennifer. We'll talk about that when we come back. You're listening to Indiana Sports Beat Radio. It is Wednesday. Back with more right after this.
We'll be right back to the golf club at Eagle Point Studios for more Indiana Sports Beat Radio with Jim Coyle, presented by Andy Moore Honda of Bloomington and Southern Stone Restaurant.
Sports on television.
We should have Charlie and DJ joining us here right now. I already checked with DJ, and he said he'll be on when he's ready.
He'll be on when he's ready.
Good.
He'll be on when he's ready.
This is why, I'm not going to say it. We're on the air. Can't say what I want to say right now.
Who else? Is anybody else on today?
Charlie should be joining us, and then we have our Scratch the Itch later on.
Oh, yeah.
Here's Charlie right now. Morning, Mr. Miller.
Hey, morning, guys. How you doing?
Uh-oh.
What's up?
Green.
What's up, teacher?
You hear me? Am I green?
Oh, there you go. Yeah, you're good now. I just, for some reason, you...
That's because he's moving. He's just moving around.
Yeah, I'm trying to get to an area that's, you hear a lot of noise?
No, it's not bad.
Okay. If you say it's not bad, I mean it's bad.
Oh,
it's acceptable.
Damn. I see palm trees,
yeah.
man.
Yeah.
You in a hotel? You in an airport hotel?
No, I'm at
Florida somewhere.
At the Gaylord Opry. Yeah, the Gaylord Opry in
Nashville.
Okay. Yeah, a lot of ambiance around me, man. A lot of good noise going on. Waterfall.
But you.
Okay, perfect. I take that.
That's perfect, yeah.
I take it.
Yeah, that place is amazing, man. I stayed there once.
Yeah,
I played golf there, man. They have a links style golf course that they still have.
Yeah, I saw that. 72 holes, about 5 minutes away from here.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
72 holes, man.
Noise okay?
Do what?
Noise is okay? No.
Yeah, I don't hear anything around you except
good.
you.
Good.
We'll be getting started here in about 40 seconds.
You got a question,
Jim?
I was just going to say, how's the traveling going, but I was going to save it.
Oh, you save it. Yeah.
Did you already stop through Louisville?
Yes.
Yeah, we already did that. Yeah, that was kind of like the first stop. We stayed downtown.
Oh, shoot. Here we go.
I'd have known it.
Hey, Derrick. I know you just joined us. We're about to get started, Derrick.
All right, cool.
Good deal, man. How you guys doing?
We got Charlie Miller with us, former Indiana basketball player as well.
My man, what's going on? Happy holidays, brother.
How you doing, Derrick? How you doing, Derrick?
Now in Bloomington.
Good.
Today's guest is brought to you by Reynolds Family Dentistry of Sillersburg. You need $1 million smile for those championship photos, and that's exactly what you'll get with Reynolds Family Dentistry.
Now back to the golf club at Eagle Point Studios for more Indiana Sports Beat Radio with Jim Coyle, presented by Andy Moore Honda of Bloomington and Southern Stone Restaurant.
Welcome back. It is Wednesday. It's Christmas week. Got a Christmas present. We got Charlie Miller, Derrick Jackson joining us both. How are you guys doing? Charlie, how are you?
I'm doing well. How you guys doing?
Great. Derrick, how are you?
Good, man. Happy holidays to you guys, man. It's been a crazy, crazy week.
There he is. Derrick, meet Charlie. Charlie played basketball in the late 90s. Derrick played football for IU in the early 90s.
Late 80s. Hey, Charlie, Jim, I really appreciate that, Charlie, but that was the late 80s, brother.
I was going to say that. I was trying to think maybe graduation date. I was trying to push it out a little bit.
Yeah, I hear that.
Yeah. But Charlie's from Miami.
Okay. All right.
He lives in Dallas now. And he's currently he's in Nashville.
Okay.
But Derrick lives at, where do you live, Derrick?
Fort Myers, Florida.
Okay.
Fort Myers, Florida.
Yeah. Just over on the other coast, Charlie, man. I'm over here on the west coast of Florida, man.
Yeah, exactly. In Fort Myers, that's Deion Sanders' old area.
Man, listen, we allude to that name every week. Deion and I played high school football together. So
there we go. Yeah. So that's so are you from Florida, Derrick?
Yes, I'm from Florida, man. Right here.
Okay.
I played football with them. We started with the Fort Myers Rebels together. Then we went on up to high school together, and then ended up playing Florida State in a bowl game when I played for IU. So I've got a lot of connections, man.
No, man, that's great. And Derrick, I know you know what I would talk about when I mentioned about athletes. And Jim, I mean, it's like the story, right? Derrick is very fortunate. Myself being fortunate, not saying that we came from hard, humble areas, but Deion Sanders talked about, the best athletes you never see because they never made it out of the neighborhood, right? They never made it. I mean, I know, Derrick, you can tell me 25 guys who can guard, cover, play every sport. I can tell you guys who play basketball, right? But it was just, we were very fortunate to have that opportunity to come to a school like Indiana University and do the things we're doing now in life.
Exactly, man. We've got, from the area, man, when I think of names like Javon Curse, who's from here from Fort Myers, Florida, Mike Greenwell, who's also a baseball player that's here from Fort Myers, Florida. So we've got some guys from this area and guys that have not made it out, like you said, of the neighborhood that were great athletes, man. And I tell you, I'll be honest. I'm going to tell you what got me to come to IU, Bobby Knight. I played football. That's what got me to come to IU. The guy never said a word to me, but to sit in the training room and to see this imposing figure, it's like, okay, man, I got to go. I'm coming to Indiana, man. That's where I'm going to school at.
Nice. It's awesome. That's awesome.
Charlie is currently down in Nashville traveling. Last we talked to him, he was in Louisville. He's on the circuit right now, but just doing some traveling back home. How's Nashville treating you?
Man, Nashville is great. We're at the Gaylord Opry. This place is 2.1 million square feet. I mean, it's ridiculous. Derrick, I have a son that plays at a school in Kentucky. It's called Midway University. He plays basketball. Okay. So we went to go watch him play Saturday. They played a really good game, and he's a freshman. So he did a freshman thing. He scored 6 points and had 5 fouls. I'm shaking my head like, dude, them fouls are not needed, but you're gonna learn your lesson. He did his thing, right? And now we're taking like a little tour of like Louisville area, Nashville, going to Memphis today. So just spending time with him, man, it's awesome. Having a son in college to do the things that we've done. I'm watching him. I don't care at what level it's at the NAIA level, man. But it was a joy to watch him in warm-ups play. It's surreal to me. And just having him with me on our little Christmas kind of break is really cool.
Right. Yeah, I think you see now the landscape, again, it's changing, man. It doesn't matter what level you're on. Yeah. It's about the exposure. And I would just, again, I always talk about the transfer portal, and I'm not a big fan of it. And every day I read up on this stuff, I get more confirmation, man. These guys are transferring like 90 going north. I don't see how an offensive or a defensive coordinator or a basketball coach can prepare for next season when you don't know who's going to be there.
You don't know, and that's what I talk about. It's like every game. I mean, to me, and Jim, I mean, to kind of bring you to this conversation as well, you know, the success I think we're having at IU, it's you can't scout. You can't scout for Xavier Johnson, for Miller Kopp, because you would have to scout when he was at Pitt, when Miller Kopp was at Northwestern. You have to really kind of take this on as a game by game basis and make adjustments. Now, next year you have the same schedule you can, but the scouting it throws you off. I mean, so you really have a pro style type approach to every week, because it's like free agency. You have no idea, you know, what you're going to get. So to me, that's why it's like this is a different landscape.
Yeah, different landscape, man. I think you know, I'm seeing it. I think coaches now, there's no longer the welcoming committee at the campus that's going to help get these recruits. Listen, man, you need to bring in some of these former athletes that got names on the wall and say, hey, listen, God, I need your help. Okay, I'm not going to be able to do it because I don't know too much about that kid like that. This kid is down here in Miami. Okay, he's down here, you know, the poking beans. Okay, I got to go to the poking beans to get this kid. I don't know about the poking beans. You know, Charlie, help me, brother, with the poke. You know, listen, man. You know, I can't pay you, but I need you for a week up here in Indiana doing recruiting. I want this kid out in poking beans, and that's what we got out.
That's right.
Tom Allen, I'm like, Coach, man, bring some of us, you know, here. I mean, I'm retired. I love to come speak to the team, you know, every sophomore and tell them what it's really, really like. They want to know who. They want to know the guy that dressed with them in the locker room or did the same things they went through. The guy that went through 2 a days. The guy that came to a program, man, that before was 4 and whatever, and then we turn it around and go to a bowl game 3 years in a row. That's what they want to hear, man.
That's what exactly, man. I love. First of all, I love the passion I hear from you, and you're just speaking the truth, man. Because you know, recruiting now has to cut right through the BS. There's no more. Hey, look, the institution, what we provide. No, it's our locker room. It's our approach and the network you have behind it. And you just said, you can go into the trenches. You can go into Liberty City and Opelika. You can go over those areas, Jim, in Miami that, you know, that breed football players and I mean athletes. You can go there and talk that language now that they're going to hear. You're right on. I'm with you on that.
Spot on.
And recruiting has changed so much in every sport. We watch the portal afterwards, like you said, and Indiana football right now, still waiting to find a quarterback. They're going to have to find one via the portal, without question there. On the basketball side of things, Indiana taking on has a game tonight. They take on Northern Kentucky. It should be another one of those non-conference games, but this is not. I mean, they've got Darren Horn is their coach. He played at Western when Tom Crean was an assistant there under Ralph Willard, was part of this, who was part of Crean's staff at Marquette. But they like to create havoc on defense with full court trapping. And one of the problems Indiana has had is taking care of the ball. So they're going to have to deal with these traps and take care of the ball and get the ball up the floor efficiently.
Well, to me, I mean, you know, I feel like they're going to handle it. To me, we're a very athletic team. Our forefront, we're athletic. We do a good job of keeping the ball out of the corners, in particular, half court, sideline, keep the ball in the middle, because they do a good job of finding Trace at the rim, and Trace is athletic. You know, you can't really teach what he does above the rim when you throw that ball up high to him. So if you keep the ball out of those, we call those coffin corners, keep the ball out of the middle and try not to beat it. You know, I'm not going, pun intended, I'm not going to X out any players, but we don't beat the trap with the dribble. You beat them with the pass. You're making a team effort. We should be okay tonight.
Darren Horn, like I said, his teams as a head coach in 12 seasons, whether it's been at Western Kentucky, South Carolina, and now Northern Kentucky, all but one of his teams have caused the turnovers of at least 20% of opponents' possessions.
Wow.
So he That's pretty consistent.
That is. Well, that's a coach also that knows his system, right? And any system, I don't care if it's football or basketball, it's always designed to create a predictable result. And that's the system that you can rely on, because that's effort, that's attitude, that's approach. Basketball may not go on a whole at a high percentage for him offensively, but he can guarantee he's going to bring it defensively, and that's what they probably rely on. You got to break that spirit. You got to break that. You have to know that. You have to practice for that. I'm hoping that the players have approached it that way. They prepare for it that way. You got to keep the ball moving. It's going to be passes, to me, to create long closeouts where you really can't have them trap you. And again, and shoot high percentage shots, not just threes because you're open or mid ranges. Get to the rim, get them in foul trouble.
One of the things I've been talking about this week, we've been talking about, is Xavier Johnson. It seems like there are games where he's taking too many shots. He's the point guard, yet he's taking the most shots on the team. And you've got guys like Parker Stewart who are only getting 4 shots off. He's hitting 3 of them. He's shooting 75%, but he's not getting enough shots. I think I blame him for part of that, but I also blame the team for part of that. I think Parker's got to work harder to get an open shot, right, but they have to work harder to find him.
Right. Well, okay, so let's put this in perspective for me at least. Xavier Johnson averaged 16 points last season. You don't shoot 8 shots to get 16 points. That's what he's used to. That's what we recruited. I think that was the highlight. Now we're getting a chance to see it consistently. Okay, and now you take away from what we are used to seeing offensively. I agree to that, but now you have a point guard who can score the basketball, and you got players like a Parker Stewart who's very efficient. I talked about that on Monday. He's a very efficient shooter. You don't need not a very volume type shooter. You get him more shots. I think he helps you that much more. So I think it's an adjustment. I think it's an adjustment we're going to see more. I don't know. I see Xavier looking to get the people more involved. I see that. That's what I'm looking. I'm looking at him. I think the most indecisive game I've seen was when they played against Wisconsin in the second half kind of debacle, where we just kind of lost it. I saw him penetrate, but I think it was to no avail. I think there's still some familiarity with players. Used to understanding their scoring spots, where he could put people in position. So I think there's still an adjustment. But I agree with what you're saying. We got to figure out how to get, the Miller Cops and the Parker Stewarts more shots and more opportunities.
Because to me, that's the thing, and it doesn't matter where we're talking about football or basketball, Derrick.
Right.
It just, you got to get a team gelled. Everybody has to be on the same page. They're still not on the same page yet. They may be closer, but they're not on the same page yet. And I talked about in the last segment, you hear people talk about Tom Izzo's teams. Well, wait till March. Yes, because they get better. We're in December. Man, this is December. They don't hand out trophies in December. There's a reason for that. So teams will get better. And I think Indiana's team will get better. I think they're going to get a lot better once they get those roles defined within themselves and feel comfortable with that role within themselves.
I tell you, I think the last game, Coach Woodson, man, he gave Xavier a hard look, and he sat him down.
That shot, dude, I put a tweet out. I know exactly when you're talking about it. He took that shot, and he just stared him down.
He stared him down, and like Mike Woodson said, he asked the fans to be patient, which is what we need to do. Let him do the coaching. Let him do the chewing out of the players. Let him get that part of it right. We need to stay in behind our Indiana football and basketball and baseball and track, whatever Hoosiers, and let the coach it's the kid still playing at the collegiate level. He's a student athlete, so we can encourage this guy. You know what I'm saying? He's not a professional. He made amateur mistakes, and Mike Woodson is going to coach that up and get him right.
There you go. I love that. That's it. But say players play, coaches coach, and fans watch.
That's what we do.
When we come back, we're going to take a break. We'll talk about the booing aspect, Charlie. That was a point of contention this week as some people booed Xavier, and Mike Woodson took exception to that. And he talked about it. We'll talk about that from a player's perspective when we come back. Indiana Sports Beat Radio back with more after this.
We'll be right back to the Golf Club at Eagle Point Studios for more Indiana Sports Beat Radio with Jim Coyle, presented by Andy Moore Honda of Bloomington and Southern Stone Restaurant.
If you're in the market.
Hey, so Charlie, you were living in Dallas. Are you currently? I know you traveling with your kid. And by the way, congratulations to him.
Thank you,
son. But you live in Dallas, is that correct?
Yes, sir. Yeah, an area called Carrollton, Texas.
You know what, man? That's so funny. We travel the same path. I used to live in Dallas. I lived in Carrollton, and when I went out there, I was really involved with them, and I ended up living in Plano.
Yeah,
and I lived in Prosper, Texas too. It's nice out there, man.
Yeah. Wow. I mean, that was literally that's where Dion moved out there. I know you know about all that. It's agriculture. Jim, Deion Sanders bought I don't know how many acres of land. Kind of like in a great way. Kind of a savings of taxes because he had all kind of animals on his property.
He had 100. Let me tell you, Charlie. He had 125 acres.
Yeah, 125 acres. There we go. Yeah,
yep.
Yeah. He moved out.
He kept cows in there, so he wouldn't have to pay taxes. At the time, that's where he was living. Now he's living in just south. Because I used to work. I don't know if you know where Wynwood is. The Wynwood Plaza in Dallas. I used to work kind of like close to the neighborhood, Wynwood.
Okay.
Yeah, I used to work there when I worked in Dallas. But Dallas was a lovely city. Yep. Lovely city, man.
Yeah, that's amazing. Man, so you might have been here when I got here in 2008. So you probably were here.
I was there. I used to work for First Convenience Bank, either in Kroger or Walmart. That's who I worked for.
Which one?
First Convenience Bank. I worked in Irving. My branch was in Irving. You know what Beltline is? Beltline is in Dallas, Texas.
Yes.
Yeah, I worked on Beltline in Kroger's, man. I was a branch manager.
Wow.
Yep.
Wow. So Las Colinas area. Am I right?
Exactly. Yep.
Yeah, Las Colinas. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Yep. That area, man.
Wow.
Small world.
Wow.
I mean,
Small world after all.
Man,
it's a small world after all.
It's race every single day, man. Wow. I mean, man, we probably walk right by each other.
Hey, and just let you know, yes, I am a Dallas Cowboy fan. Huge Cowboy fan.
Nice.
There we go.
Sizemore has over 2 decades of experience, and that could be the difference in you getting the home you want in today's tough housing market. Reach out to Cheryl Sizemore from RE/MAX Advanced Realty at cheryl@indiehomepros.com or 317-298-0961. Cheryl Sizemore from RE/MAX Advanced Realty. Let Cheryl Sizemore get you in the home you want today. cheryl@indiehomepros.com.
This segment is brought to you by RE/MAX Advanced Realty, Indie Home Pros team by Cheryl Sizemore. Now back to the Golf Club at Eagle Point Studios for more Indiana Sports Beat Radio with Jim Coyle, presented by Andy Moore Honda of Bloomington and Southern Stone Restaurant.
Welcome back. It is Christmas week, Wednesday of Christmas week. I guess next week's even more down, man. You get that it should just be a national vacation. The week between Christmas and New Year's, just shut it down.
That's right.
Shut it down.
Like
Just shut it down. It's like a refresh, kind of recharge, new year, recharge it. It should be just shut it down, man.
Well,
I'd like that.
I tell you this: if they don't shut it down, the powers that be, I know around this time I always shut down for about 2 weeks. So my thing is, I might be present, but I know I'm not there emotionally. I'm somewhere else in my head. so this is the time, man. This is recovery time for me, man. It's a great time to kind of soak up the family and fun and get back into the faith. To me, and man, just like, I'm here, but I'm not really here.
Yeah, I think that's what it is with all of us, man. I was just thinking about that this morning. I've already got family in town. I've got don't tell nobody, Charlie. I've got grandkids in town.
I love it. Love it. I hear you.
Yeah, Jim, you got to edit that part. Hey, you got to edit that part out, man. When I said grandkids, but anyway, man, it's the joyous time of the year. It's the we celebrate the birth of our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, and I'm just so happy and thankful for you guys. I'm thankful for just everything that's around me, man. It's just a blessing to be able to have this conversation with you guys.
Oh man, no, again, like I said, I can't say it again, and I got to give you one of my isms, Jim, and IU Sports Beat Nation, passion. Passion is 3 words for me. It's pass, I on. And I hear Derrick doing that all day, every day, man. So I can't talk to Derrick enough. So I appreciate this.
Exactly. No problem. Yeah. Thank you so much, man. Make sure you get my Twitter credentials. We got to keep in touch, brother. We got definitely
no question. That's we're going to do that.
How about the Pacers last night? I saw Bob Kravitz, who will be with us later. He's like, I'm not committed enough to watch the rest of this Pacers game or something. He said, I'm turning it off. They got rolled, man, by the Miami Heat. Wow. 125-96, who were missing 4 starters. I mean, that just really puts the stake in it for the Pacers almost.
Wow, 125-96. That's scoring the basketball at a high clip. Now, is that COVID related? Is that injury or?
Well, Maryland was missing. Miami was missing the players, not the Pacers.
Oh wow.
Miami was missing 4 starters.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah, they sure were. Yep, they were. They were missing 4. Yeah, man. Wow, the Pacers, man. What's going on with the Pacers, man? Their records are actually reversed. One's 13-19, one's 19-13. But at the same time, because I don't watch Pacer basketball like that. I admit that. I've been trying to do better about that. But help us out here, Charlie. Help me out, Jim. Somebody. What's going on with these guys, man?
Well, they're already talking about rebuilding in the middle of the season.
Yeah, that's what I think it is.
It's not even the middle of the season. The season's just getting underway. And when you're talking about rebuilding when the season's just starting, that's problematic.
Yeah, and I see that Miles Turner was asking for a trade. And I saw some tweets about that from old Coach Dockage, who's not shy at all to speak his opinion. So yeah, I don't follow the Pacers much, but I can understand it. Yeah, it's like you're probably like a third of the season in, and you're already tanking in that regard. You're talking about again the positive approach to this is you're looking to rebuild. That's not a good sign.
There's been lots of talk of trade, whether it's Karis LeVert or Domantas Sabonis, Malcolm Brogdon. You don't know who's going to be on the but they're a lot of the talk from the owner, Herb Simon. So when you hear him talking this early in the season too, man, they were come off of promising last couple of seasons, but the coaching carousel has kind of hurt them, I think, as well.
Now, Rick Carlisle, is he a brand new coach, or has Rick Carlisle been there for a couple of years?
No, he actually, both. I think both. But now who knows? Because and again, I can't say I know this to be exact, but coaches, just like players, they carry an identity, and I know Coach Carlisle is a kind of no nonsense, run his offense his way. I think that he was actually, so Derrick, he was his last team was the Mavericks. Right. And he actually stepped down, right? So he stepped down. He didn't get fired. He stepped down, and the rumors in the Dallas area is him and Luka Doncic didn't get along. The star player for Dallas Mavericks, right. And then a lot of stuff started coming out in the media, that people were validating as far as Rick Carlisle wanted things run his way. Luka wanted to do things his way. So for me, at a professional level, guys, what I've experienced a lot of times, players, it's really a players-based organization. Can you imagine being around somebody like as strong as LeBron James on a team? Who's like a GM? slash president slash coach. So, you know, it's probably that old school style of coaching that's meeting the new school, and the players may not be in agreement with what the coach is talking about.
Yeah, I kind of, you know, get that impression. I'm not that privy to, you know, the basketball operations. Yeah. But again, Charlie, you would know better than anyone. Now, did you have an opportunity at some point at the professional level, or you know, at some point?
Well, say it again. I
say, did you have an opportunity yourself, Charlie, at the professional level?
Yeah. So I played 6 years professionally over in Europe. I had a couple of tries in the NBA back in 2000s. Didn't work out. So so you know, Derrick, also I'm a player development coach. I've been doing this for 11 years. My company is called Attack Basketball Academy. Thank you. So I train players for a living, you know, from elementary all the way to high school to pros as well.
Okay. That's awesome, man. I did not know, and I need to be in touch with things like that. It's good to see the alumni doing great things like that, man.
No, I appreciate it. And we're going to stay in touch on that. So but yeah, you know, to me, it comes down to, you know, sometimes, and then I know players. We've actually done it. We tried to do it, and I got a great story I want to talk about. Not to pivot, but we tried to create a mutiny. My freshman year at talking about old coach night, we actually created a mutiny, Jim. Great story. We just went to Iowa, got a bus kick. My first Big Ten game. I didn't care because I was like the highest score point, 11 points. We didn't play well. I'm a freshman. I'm like, man, I just had a great game, right? So all of a sudden, we get a phone call. I don't want to put the players out there. Say, hey, man, don't go to practice. Come over to our house. It's like, why? Why are you not going? Because, you know, Coach Knight had a couple guys in the locker room for a long time at night. They wanted to create a mutiny. So we actually did. We didn't go to practice. We went to somebody's house. No one has cell phones, right? So you get your voicemails. Your voicemails are blowing up. You're calling your voicemails with your codes. They're blowing up. And all of a sudden, we're scared as I don't know what. We're freshmen, Neil Reed, Andre Patterson, myself. We're like, what are we doing? I don't want to be the coach's pet. They go to practice when nobody's there. I got to hang with the team. So, long story short, that wasn't fun, but we did it. I guess we got our voice heard too, right? So it happens, man. Players mute out coaches sometimes. It happens. So I can only imagine at the professional level when you have all that money involved and what you're making, and you're coming in telling players what they're going to do, how they're going to do it. Now, I'm not saying it's right or wrong, but I can see that kind of dissension kind of breaking up a team like the Pacers and an organization, how they have to rebuild.
Well, let me go back here. So you all had a mutiny on a Bob Knight practice?
Yes, we did. We sure did.
Did you skip the whole practice?
We skipped the whole practice. Literally, we were on our way. We were staying in Reed dormitory there. We were on our way to practice, and all of a sudden we heard, "Don't go, come to our house." We're like, "Huh? What do we do? What do we do?" We go, we show up. We might hear from the players. We don't. We're gonna hear from the coaches. I'm like, okay, we gotta go with our players. So we literally did. We sure did. I'm not. Don't lie. We did it, man.
You know what? Just for 1 minute, if you will, take me inside the locker room of a Bob Knight when he is on his tirade. Well, right. You know, I know you probably can't use all of the expletives that was used, right. But take me inside that locker room for a minute. Paint that picture. I want to know Bob Knight when he is in your chest.
Yeah. So part of this story is this. So we don't go to practice, and we hear the story. You know, again, one of the players. You know, people can use that. They can kind of come to a conclusion who it might have been. He was one of our star players back in the day. It was my freshman year. And we were like, hey, man, what happened? You know, and they told us, you know, Coach Knight, you know, had one of his Coach Knight nights and was just going in. And they were like, okay, we're not, I don't want to hear it. So we actually went over to his apartment, and we were there for a while. When we went to practice, when we finally agreed to go to practice, guys, I cannot kid you. Yeah, same day. We finally figured out we're gonna go to practice. It was hours later, almost like a negotiation.
I got
hey, listen to this. We walk into the locker room. I kid you not. All of our gear, all of the stuff was in our locker, was in the hallway piled up. It was in the hallway piled up. Hey, literally, almost like you were walking in a dumpster.
Wow.
And I'm sitting there like, hey, look, I'm like, what did we just do? First of all, that was first. Second, we ended up having to practice in street clothes because they said, first of all, we're not coming on this court as coaches. If y'all going to practice, you're going to run your own practice, and you're not going to put on an Indiana University practice uniform. So we had to practice with whatever we had on.
Wow. Classic Coach Knight rap, because I've heard
that is a great story.
Yeah, I've heard.
I'm not done. I got a couple more. We're out here trying to run practices, and we're out here trying to play little Coach Knights, and everybody's yelling, "This is not right. This ain't right. You're not doing it right. You're not cutting hard." So we're doing everything that he said to do, and we didn't do it that well the night before, right? So then he kicked us out off the court. We all going back in the locker room, and here's the story. The story was, if you guys were working a corporate job, what you did last night, you all be fired. That's why I put all your stuff out. And we came out that Tuesday and played Michigan or somebody and beat them, you know what, out of them. I mean, like they stole something. It wasn't even a contest. It wasn't even a contest the way we came out that next game. But see, it was stuff like that I didn't even think about. I forgot. But it's stuff like that. You talking about a story. I mean, it's like I keep that story to myself, but like the lesson of that was, if you were working a corporate job, and I think a lot of people that's on this phone can agree to that. You know, you can't control the ball going in a hole sometimes shooting it, but you can control your attitude and effort. We probably didn't have the attitude and effort that game. And that's what he really wanted us to understand in his way. But we came out that very next game, and I mean, we had we played. We beat them pretty solid. I mean, but it was a strong team too.
What year was that?
It was my freshman year.
97.
So we lost to Iowa. So you can look at it. We lost. That was 90. That was winter 97. No, 94. Winter 95. So we lost to Iowa. And then whoever we played on this game, I know we won. And it was really during that time frame, in the course of a couple of days, that happened.
Let's see. Trying to pull it up.
Yeah.
Where's the Michigan State? Is this at home? 65-52 at Assembly Hall.
Was it Michigan?
Yeah, it's Michigan.
Yeah,
65-52. Beat them by.
Yeah, it was
13.
Michigan, and they were really good. And they were really, really good. We solid. We played solid. Every facet of the game: offense, defense, motion, offense, cutting, communication. We played a solid game.
Absolutely. Yeah. I'm just trying to look back there. That's just awesome hearing those stories, though. I mean, because all those little bitty tidbits, and so funny. And I'm not like a Bob Knight loyalist, but it's so funny how all the stories, how he related that back to the corporate world.
Yeah,
he talked about being fired. I mean, there's no better lesson than that right there.
And this action,
a lot of people would have thought that he'd just got pissed off and screamed and yelled and that, and yet actually sounds like there was a pretty good learning lesson learned in that practice.
It was. I mean, but that day was like, just you gotta, that's when people, for me, Derrick, Jim, and everybody listening, when people talk about, I could play for Bob Knight. I can, Bob. I'm like, yeah, that sounds great. I mean, I'm not saying that, like I went to war. I didn't go to war. Like, people are like, man, you survived Bob Knight. Come on, what I survived? First of all, you have no idea what you're getting into. I don't care how much you can prep for it. You don't know what you're getting into. You don't know. You don't know. You don't know. I don't care how mentally tough you are. You're 17, 18 years old, hearing all kind of things and seeing all kind of things at a high level where you don't even have time to really process it. No, another great story, Derrick. I run camps throughout the country. Had an old school coach come actually assist me at a camp in Houston, and he was telling me a story about how he said, I want to come learn from you young coaches because I'm a Bob Knight. I come from the Bob Knight era. We were tough on players, and we made players throw up running suicides and stuff. And I looked at him. I'm hoping you guys see my face. I say, oh yeah, oh man, that's pretty cool, man. That's amazing. So hey, after camp, because I didn't say anything about it, all I told the guy was this. I said, hey, coach, do me a favor. Hey, look at my bio, please. And I walked away. Hey, coach, look at my bio. Hey, Jim, I say this in love, man. He was an older white gentleman. He came back to me pale. He said, man, I'm so sorry, man. I didn't know. I said, well, no, nothing against it. I wouldn't expect you to know. But, I'm like, man, before you come to anybody's camp, look at the bio.
Exactly.
Look at the bio, man. You're going to come help me. I might teach you a thing or two. But I'm not going to tell you, you're a Bob Knight enthusiast? Okay, that's cool. That's cool. I'm trying to do, I got too much of that in me. I'm trying to get that off of me. As I'm a little terror because I saw it for 4 years. But it was so funny, man. It was so funny.
Man, we got lots more coming up here on Indiana Sports Beat Radio. We got to take a break. When we come back, we'll do more. It's Christmas week. Back with more after this.
We'll be right back to the Golf Club at Eagle Point Studios for more Indiana Sports Beat Radio with Jim Coyle, presented by Andy Moore Honda of Bloomington and Southern Stone Restaurant.
Whether it's a celebration.
Are you all going to stick around? We got Bob Kravitz and Rick Bozich coming up next.
I will jump off at 10, or guess they're coming up next. Are we going to be here next week as well, Jim?
Yeah.
Perfect, man. Perfect.
Kind of same schedule.
Okay, good. Hey, Charlie, great to meet you, buddy.
Hey, same here, man. Jim, I'm going to hop off, man, and get back with the family. That's cool.
We appreciate
thanks,
you boys
Charlie.
both.
Great story.
Hey, guys, I appreciate it, man. Hey, Merry Christmas to you guys. And Jim, can you give Derrick my information, please?
Yep, Jim. Hey, send that to me, Jim. I appreciate it, brother.
Done.
All right, guys. Have a good one.
All right, you too, man.
Guys, thank you.
Okay.
Man, remind me
Morning,
to do
Bob.
that.
Good
I gotta
morning.
have some coffee.
How are you?
Great, Bob.
I'm doing all right. Saw you
Happy-
decided to give up on the Pacers last night, though.
Oh my God! I watched the first half, and it got so bad that I watched Washington against Philadelphia for the football game. That wasn't much better, but at least it was competitive. Good God!
I haven't heard from Rick, but I'm assuming he'll be on with us too.
All right. Another game just got canceled. Brooklyn and Portland.
What's new?
Yeah.
I was saying earlier, and I think Jim's mentioned it before too, that I don't understand why the NCAA, I know you aren't talking about NCAA just then, but why the NCAA can't change the COVID protocol in terms of what cancels a game. Like if somebody tests positive and they're asymptomatic and that kind of thing.
Well, they'll do that eventually.
Yeah, especially with how bad it's getting and getting out of hand with all the cancellations again.
My wife's entire office. My wife's the only one in her office who doesn't have it. Yeah,
wow,
scary. So I just keep my distance from her. She likes it that way.
Hey, Jim, we're back in just over 30 seconds. He usually can hear me because he's got his headphones in, even though he's walked away to get coffee or whatever. There he is.
Yeah, I have to come back and get my gosh darn coffee.
It may just be Bob. I don't know if Rick's going to show up or not, but if he does,
all right.
I'll put him in. Here we go.
percent APR financing over 48 months and $0 down. Get more to your door with AndyMooreHonda.com.
Come see us at the all-new Andy Moore Honda, now in Bloomington.
This segment is brought to you by Bubba's 33 in Clarksville. Pizza, burgers, beer.
Now back to the Golf Club at Eagle Point Studios for more Indiana Sports Beat Radio with Jim Coyle, presented by Andy Moore Honda of Bloomington and Southern Stone Restaurant.
Welcome back. It is Wednesday. We are halfway to Christmas. It's Christmas week, and what a happy holidays. Bob Kravitz with us now. Bob, how are you, sir?
I'm good. Merry Christmas to you, sir.
Merry Christmas, happy holidays, happy Hanukkah, happy Hamza. What is it?
I think you meant to say Kwanzaa.
Kwanzaa, yeah. Yes.
Kwanzaa, in my house, we do a Hanumas. It's a combination of Hanukkah and Christmas. Hanumas.
There you go.
Lots of gifts for me.
I cannot believe I've never heard that before.
Well, we just made it up. It's a family thing.
But I know, but it makes perfect sense. And I'm like, how in the hell I've never heard that before. That's pretty good. You should coin. You should.
I should definitely.
You've coined it. You've already coined it. You should, do something with it because that's.
It's no Festivus, but it's not bad.
Man, well, nothing has anything on Festivus, man.
Let's air our grievances right now. Come on, let's go.
Is there anything better than Festivus with a poll and the airing of grievances?
Oh,
and the strengths of feet, or the feats of strength, rather.
Of strength, yes.
Feats of strength.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
Oh man, how is Bob Kravitz doing?
I'm good, man. I'm just I'm taking it a little slow. Wrote something on Carson Wentz today, or maybe it was yesterday. Who knows? Just about is Carson Wentz ready to take that next step? I mean, he's been a good game manager, but can he win a football game for you? And I think that's still an outstanding question. We'll find out a lot this Saturday, I think, against Arizona. But other than that, I'm doing some last minute shopping and just chilling. How about Rick Bozich? What's Rick Bozich doing?
Well, there he is. He seemed join us there. Hello, Rick Bozich.
I just took my dog to doggy daycare.
I got to do that right after. Yeah.
I got to go get a few more gifts, and then tonight I've got to go to Rupp Arena for the rescheduled Western Kentucky game since Louisville can't play.
Yeah, benefit for the tornado victims down there. So it's a nice thing that they are doing there, that they made that come into fruition, able to bring that around. So that should be exciting. Indiana playing, speaking of Western Kentucky, Indiana playing Northern Kentucky, who coached by Darren Horn, previously at Western Kentucky. So a lot of crossover there. And speaking of that team, he likes to do a lot of trapping. Indiana's had a lot of problems with the ball, holding on to the ball, Rick. Is that something that could be problematic for them tonight, you think?
Yeah, I think so. Northern Kentucky's record is really a little deceiving. They've lost like 2 games, I think, in overtime, and they lost another one on a buzzer beater. So they're not as down as their record indicates, and it's a program that's been 2 years ago. They won the Horizon League NCAA tournament bid, but didn't get to go because of COVID. And then last year they got beat in the semifinals. So, like a lot of teams at that level, they usually have competitive guards where they really don't have people that can compete or the big men because there aren't as many to go around. So Indiana favored by 18 or 19, probably something like that.
Yeah, one of those Christmas games. It's kind of hard to get up for these games, Bob. I mean, even if you're a student, there's nobody on campus. There's nothing going on. It's just dead out. Your Christmas is a couple days away. Yeah, all that stuff, man. It's like, wow. It's got to be hard to get up for those games.
Yeah, I would imagine so. Yeah, but I'll tell you what. I want to see some decent guard play out of Indiana. Of course, Xavier Johnson got booed last time at Assembly Hall. I tend to agree with Mike Woodson that, I mean, if you want to boo Jonathan Taylor or Darius Leonard or whatever, I mean, these are college kids. I've never really been down with that whole idea, but yeah, their guard play. It just makes me wonder, how bad is Christian Lander? He can't seem to find the basketball court when your guard play is so substandard.
Yeah, there's two questions that I think that Mike is done with right now, and it's Christian Lander and it's the booing of people. He's done with that stuff, man, because he gets asked that question so much. He's really, but yeah, it's to not see him at all is, Rick, it is really a little surprised to see him zero hit the court.
Yeah, as many zero games as there have been. Yeah, it is. But I didn't see the last game, not all of it. I saw part of it, but he looks still engaged on the bench, like he's in on whatever the plan is. I don't know if they're telling him he's got certain things he needs to improve or benchmarks he's got to reach to get on the court, but it's obvious there's something in his game that Mike Woodson doesn't think is up to standards, or he'd play him, because Leal's playing now more than he is, whether he's just not guarding the way he needs to guard or he turns the ball over too easily. There's something that's bugging Mike Woodson and the rest of the coaching staff.
Mm-hmm. And in essence, he's a freshman, Bob. I mean, people have to remember he's just a freshman, so he needs to be seen as a freshman. If they can get that coming early a year ago out of their heads, because he shouldn't have been at Indiana.
Shouldn't have been in Indiana last year.
So
that was a mistake.
Just look at him as a freshman and who's learning under the first year under Mike Woodson. So I think they have to look at it as a new thing, and if you do, then all things are normal.
Yeah, but he is a 5-star guy. Was he not the top point guard coming out of high school, or one of the top point guards? So you have to wonder what's going on there. But like Rick said, he still is engaged. He still seems to, want the right things. I think over time he's going to be their guy, because look, Xavier Johnson is who he is. Rob Finney, I like the way he played the other day at the Crossroads, but that's not a consistent thing with Rob. I just don't know where that killer instinct and that aggressiveness is. And I've been asking that same question for how many years? So, over time, you would hope that Lander would get in there, but I promise I won't ask Mike that question.
That would be a good idea.
Indiana hat off on that one.
Indiana football needing a quarterback, Rick. Actually, a couple quarterbacks, really. They need one from the high school ranks to get started, but they need one now. I think someone that can step in next year, because I don't think that they have a quarterback that can take that starting role right now.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to be able to get a high school guy now. I mean, when the Hoover kid flipped on him, that hurt, and then they tried to get it on the kid from Alabama who decommitted from Oregon, and when he chose to go to South Carolina after Spencer Rattler already transferred there, that wasn't a good sign.
Could not believe that.
Yeah. So, I mean, I think their best bet is to go in the transfer portal and get who they can. I know that Bo Nix came off the table yesterday and went to Oregon. There's still 3 or 4 guys out there. There'll probably be 3 or 4 more go in after the bowl games. But yeah, they got to get somebody. It'll be interesting to see who they pick, because I think it'll be a good indication of what they value in the quarterback under the new offensive coordinator. Is it a guy who's, a pocket passer? Or is it a guy who's a little bit of a more mobile, or is it a guy who's really known for running?
Are we completely down on Donovan McCulley?
No, I don't think so. I mean, he never went through spring practice last year like a lot of kids enroll early, and I don't think he expected to play. He didn't get that many snaps in the fall. The offensive line wasn't very good. The receivers weren't very good other than Hendershot, and that team got beaten down by the early losses, and I think by the middle of the year they checked out. So I think he's got a chance to still be a player. The other kid we've never seen play, who's been there for 2 or 3 years, is Dexter Williams, who he I don't know, they were pretty high on him a couple of years ago, so I think we forget about him. If he's healthy, he could be in the mix. But they got to get another guy for sure. They got to get a portal guy.
Absolutely. The Colts, speaking of quarterbacks, the Colts, Carson Wentz, Bob, you were talking about him earlier, but man, they've gone from 0-3 start and looking like they're going to be a playoff team now.
They do. Look, honestly, I think you could see this coming because the early schedule was brutal. It was the toughest 4-game stretch to start the season in the league. Carson missed virtually all of training camp. Then he had the bad ankles, so he was totally immobile. The offensive line was all beat up early. He wasn't getting protected. I honestly thought that it would kind of happen the way it's happened, that they would go on a roll, much like they did a couple of years ago when they started 1-5 and won, I think, 9 out of 10. This is a dangerous team. The only thing that really scares me is they don't have any depth at wide receiver. I mean, I wouldn't even say depth. They don't have anything at wide receiver except for Michael Pittman. Zach Pascal's got 36 catches all year. T.Y. Hilton's got 18. Ashton Doolin's made some plays, but he's not a guy you're going to count on. So I think that's the one area where you look at the Colts and say that's going to stop them from getting to the Super Bowl. I mean, they may still, but that's the thing that scares me most is not Carson Wentz, because I think Wentz will be fine. I think it's the lack of wide receiving talent that they have that's going to be problematic.
They've certainly been fun to watch as the season has progressed and watching them climb into the playoffs. The defense, the defense has played well, but how about Jonathan Taylor, Rick? He's got to be, I don't know if he's the front runner, but he's got to be in the top 2 for MVP.
Yeah, that was impressive the way he made that run Saturday night and put the game away against the Patriots, and he's done that all year for them. And as a Chicago Bears fan, I'm insanely jealous.
I never thought about that. I was wondering. I never even asked. Yeah, that makes complete sense. But how about the Bears? The Bears are such an enigma. I love watching Justin Fields. He is so fun to watch. But it looks like you've got this great player surrounded by jello or just craziness, and can he survive with that team?
Well, they better change coaches. I know that. I mean, the
GM
and the GM. Yes, Ryan Pace has got to go too. But
and the owner.
Well, yeah, that's a problem. You can't fire the owner. But it's crazy. I mean, they have not come up with game plans. The little bit that I've seen of them, and which is really enough. They haven't come up with plans to take advantage of what Justin Fields does best. And so I really think he's been put in an impossible position. And that's just a team that needs to be blown up, much like your Indiana Pacers. Thought I'd throw that in.
But the Bears need to be blown up beyond the team. They need to be blown up all the way through the management chart, because they haven't gotten this right since Ditka left. I mean, they've had bad coach after bad GM after bad whatever for years after year after year. And, I think I listened some on the podcast to some Chicago guys who talk about it, and I've never heard Bears fans as turned off by it as it is right now. And, people, they're even asking people to quit going to the games because that's the only way that the management will listen to them.
COVID is crushing sports again. We've seen several things. The Louisville, Kentucky game canceled or postponed, whatever. That's a big one. A lot of these have not been big games, but that's a big non-conference game that they probably won't reschedule that, will they?
No, I don't think so, because Kentucky filled the slot on the schedule with Western Kentucky, so they don't have an opening. So this will be the first time it's not played since the 1983-84 season. and last year was played in front of no fans. So I think, like, I looked around, like DePaul's already had 2 forfeits because of COVID, and they're complaining about that. They're Kansas and Colorado, a conference game in the Big 12, got canceled yesterday. Indiana women's game got canceled yesterday against Wright State. I mean, it's all over the country. I think there were 12 or 13 men's Division I games canceled yesterday. So, and I've gotten texts from a couple people who's saying it's going to get worse over the next few weeks.
And my beloved National Hockey League is shut down for the time being. I just wonder, guys.
I didn't see that. They shut down the whole league.
Yeah, they're shut down for a while. Oops, screw that up. Anyway, I just wonder at what point the college does what pro football is doing, where if you're asymptomatic, you can still play. I just wonder when they're going to move to that. I don't know if it's a good idea or bad idea. I'm not an epidemiologist, but the NFL
big words.
Yeah, well, I'm a word guy. That's when the NFL. I don't know if it's a good move or a bad move, but certainly the NFL is doing everything it can to get these games in. And just like the NBA, I mean, Christmas, you're going to have all these games and none of the stars are going to play. None of the stars.
Well, I ask you guys, I mean, football's one thing where fans sit outside. Basketball, I was at Louisville, played at Western Kentucky on Saturday, and it was sold out, 7,500 seat arena. Now, media has to wear masks along press row, but there's 7,500 people in the facility. Nobody's wearing a mask. Are any of you guys apprehensive about sitting inside at some of these games right now?
I'm wearing my mask because I have to at Assembly Hall, and I noticed at Assembly Hall they'll have people walking up and down the aisles with a sign asking people to please wear their masks, but most are not. Especially where I sit, I'm around students. They're damn well not wearing masks.
No.
So, but no, I'm not. I'm boosted. I'm like, hey man, it is what it is. It's I can't imagine that at some point I'm not going to catch it. At some day, I mean, I've avoided it up till now, but one of these days it's not going away. So eventually I'm going to catch it. So,
well, the good thing is, I'm sorry, I'm having headphone problems here. Okay. Yeah, at some point we're probably all going to get it. Unfortunately, my wife's office, everybody has it except for her.
That's crazy.
So it's crazy right now, but the good thing is if you are, vaccinated and boosted and everything else, the worst thing you're probably looking at is cold or flu, which, we've all dealt with. But, I don't want to be quarantined for 10 days. I mean, nobody does. It's crazy. And, it's getting nuts. Like, I don't know if you're aware, but like the Colts now, during this season, we've had press conferences, where in person, and if you need somebody, you can sit in a room 6 feet away, and it's something that works. It's not optimal, but it works. Well, now we're going all virtual, which is really weird because everybody in the media gets tested once a week. We all wear masks. We're all boosted, so I'm not sure why they're doing that, but I'm not going to complain. We are in the middle of a global pandemic. So, if that's what they feel like they need to do.
The Colts test media members?
Yes, once a week.
Wow. A certain day you have to be there?
Usually on Wednesday, but with the Saturday game, it's Tuesday. So every week you got to drive on down there and get tested. And yet, if you're a player and you test positive, but you're asymptomatic, you're just fine. So I don't really understand. It seems like they're moving in two completely different directions on this.
What if you're a media member and test positive? You can't come to the game?
You can't. No. Nope.
Well, I think there's too much still of not knowing. There's just the unknowledge of long term, this, that, the other thing. That's some fears are misplaced. Some maybe the quarantine is making it worse. You got to get through it faster, I think. But yeah, I don't want to sit my daughter went to Costa Rica and spent 8 days in quarantine of her while she was in Costa Rica. So yeah, that was no fun. No. But yeah, we've just got to get through it. And pro sports is handling it how they are. College is different, and college is behind. I think they have to catch up. They don't feel like they have to get these games in as badly, but yet it's still a financial loss if there's a TV game that's not going to go on the air. And so conferences will lose money. The networks are losing money. So everybody, it's affecting everybody. So they've got to find a better way, I think, of getting through this, because it's not going to stop. And especially as you see now, it seems like it's gotten a faster start this season than it did last year.
It's going to make it tricky too for the tournament selection committee, because when you look at records, records are deceptive. There are going to be some teams that have wins that are actually forfeits, and you're going to have a printout of every team of which games they actually won and which games were forfeited to them. And then, teams that didn't, it's going to hurt some teams from losing opportunities to stack wins because they didn't get to play the game. So the evaluation period for the NCAA tournament is going to be more challenging. And I'm sure in Indianapolis, their number one fear is they're going to have to go back to a bubble and all these regionals set up all around the country where, are going to have to change the tournament on the fly and put it somewhere where everybody can go. Where is it this year? New Orleans, maybe, or Atlanta? It's one or the other.
One of those places. Hey, by the way, can you guys still see me? Because my phone rang and I lost the video. So
yeah, you're wonderful. You're perfect. Speaking of you got the national championship game, college football national championship game that's being played in Indianapolis in January, if they haven't moved to April yet. But it seems like those games get further out.
Is that like the 10th? January
10th? I think it's the 10th, yeah. Yeah, at some point we're going to stop seeing fans. I mean, maybe it's short term. It's just, for God's sake, get your vaccination. I don't want to get all go on a tangent here, but 98% of the people who are in the hospital are unvaccinated. I don't know what else people need to understand.
Yep, I agree, man. I certainly agree. Rick, what is coming up next for you? We got Christmas, so it's kind of a slower time. I know. I know your last piece you put out about Calipari having the advantage back over Mick Cronin. Chris, I always say that. Chris Mack. Oh, I always make that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how much you guys remember or even care, but a year ago, Louisville did beat Kentucky, and then after the game, there was a sort of a party at Chris Mack's house.
Oh, yes.
And they were downstairs in the basement, and they did a video, which is never a good thing, but he thought it was just like a group of friends.
Mm-hmm.
And Eric Wood, a former Louisville football player who played in the NFL, got in front of the camera and basically they were sending the video to Kenny Payne, who was no longer with Cal, saying, "You were the reason that Kentucky dominated. You're not there anymore. Cal's finished. He's never going to beat Louisville again." Well, for 6 weeks, nobody saw the video. And then somehow somebody in that group, who I think it was another friend of Max, shared it with somebody, and that person shared it with a Kentucky website, and it got leaked on a Saturday night after Louisville had a bad loss to make it even have more impact. And so it made Mac had to apologize. And I just wrote about how ever since Louisville won that game, Cal's had the upper hand on them again.
Oh, absolutely.
They're not even getting to play now. So Louisville's already lost 4 games, and 3 of them are the teams that probably aren't going to make the NCAA tournament.
Wow.
All they have is ACC games left to go, so they're already in the bubble.
How did we get through our formative years without? Thank God there were no cell phones. I think of all the stupid crap I've done. Thank God there were no cell phones.
You need to go when you still need to start going to places and say, "All right, give me your cell phone on Christmas." If there's going to be any alcohol, give me your cell phone. They're all going in a bag, and when it's time to go home, I'll give it back to you.
I think that's a great idea.
Hey, how many leaked videos have been the downfall of somebody?
Ask Urban Meyer.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I never stops. How many people enjoyed the demise of Urban Meyer? Raise your hand.
Is he not the most
I'm raising
arrogant
my hand
sounding
as well.
guy? Yeah,
you heard
he's
the last story. What he wanted to do, he got mad at reporters for using anonymous sources in some of these stories against him. And on the day that the Tampa Bay paper was writing the story about how he kicked that player,
Lambo,
the Jaguars wanted to make some anonymous players available to defend him. Speaking off the record.
good heavens!
how do you kick a player? I mean, in this, I
don't know. How do you call your assistant coaches losers? I mean, they're the ones who obviously leaked this stuff that really put the pressure on them because they were not very happy at being called losers by their head coach.
Well, they're just soft. Sack up.
I just don't know how, with the experience that he had, that he could do these things that he's done and not know that it's just going to be a colossal, catastrophic failure.
He's used to being a college coach where he's king and he can rule the empire, and it's not that way in the NFL.
And you know, I mean, look, we've had some guys like Bill Walsh and Jimmy Johnson go from college to pro and have incredible success. But I think, you know, by and large, you know, when you're a college coach and you're coaching at the level that Urban is, you just have better players. Nine games out of 10, exactly. You just have far superior athletes, and you don't have to really dive into the X's and O's. In the pros, everybody's damn good. You know, we saw the Lions knock off not Tampa. Tampa lost to New Orleans. We saw the Lions beat the Cardinals. I mean, every team is pretty good except maybe for the Jets. And you've really got to dive into the X's and O's. And you know, the margin of the margin is so much slimmer in the pros. You've really got to put the time in. And you look at guys like Spurrier and Meyer, and I'm not sure they were willing or able to put that kind of time in.
Nick Saban.
Yeah,
I mean, that when you're at Ohio State or Alabama,
Bobby Petrino,
and you don't like what your roster is, you just go out and recruit 25 4 or 5 stars, and you're better the next year.
Exactly.
It doesn't work that way in the NFL, and that's the same thing in college basketball. People always ask me whether I think Calipari will go back to the pros. No. He's got every advantage in the world at Kentucky that he won't have in the NBA. He's always has the best players. He has the best arena. He has the best practice facility. He has the best lodge for his players to live in. Why would you give up a situation like that where you're making $8 million a year or $9 million to go to the NBA where you're just another coach?
Right, where he's already failed.
Right.
Miserably with the old New Jersey Nets.
Is his song and dance running old at Kentucky?
It was until they beat North Carolina by 30 points Saturday. Now everybody's happy again. It'll depend, I think, on what they do in the NCAA tournament. You know, I mean, obviously people were mad last year because they went 9-16, but there's a little bit of frustration because they have not been back to the Final Four since that 38-0 team got beat by Wisconsin. So this is obviously the longest stretch without a Final Four for him, and I think people are getting a little weary of the one and done thing, I think.
Yeah, that's long been gone. What do you have coming up next, Rick?
Western Kentucky and Kentucky tonight. Family and stuff over the weekend. And next week we dive into conference play. I think Louisville opens ACC play against Wake Forest. I think my next IU game will probably be isn't Ohio State in there in early January?
Yeah, I think it's like the second or third conference game,
come up for
something like that.
Yeah, so full-time college basketball at this point.
Bob, about yourself?
I'm going to drink lots of whiskey. A lot of.
Now we lost
your volume. Yeah, he's all frustrated.
Santa Claus
the whiskey took over. The whiskey took over.
We can't hear you, but that's okay. We can still see you.
Hang on.
There you go.
Okay,
Yes,
I hit the mute button. You would think after 2 years of Zoom, I would have this figured out, but I hit the wrong button. No, I'm just going to drink whiskey and enjoy my family for Hanumas, and it'll all be good.
Yes, you missed that,
What's
Rick.
your whiskey of choice?
I really like Jameson a lot. Glenn
Irish
Fiddick.
whiskey.
Irish whiskey. I like Irish whiskey. Single malt.
What's the difference between Irish whiskey and bourbon? Just
Bourbon's sweeter.
okay.
Yeah, I'm not a huge bourbon fan, but I won't say no to it if you want to buy me some Woodford Reserve for the holidays. But yeah, that's
this
okay.
place is crazy, man. There's liquor stores all across town where they get these vintage bottles and they have these raffles or like lotteries, and people get there 2 hours before the store opens. And
Is
wait
that
outside
right?
to
Oh
buy
yeah,
some overpriced bottle of bourbon.
Yeah, well,
Pappy Van Winkle or something like that.
Oh, there's all different kind of ones. Remember Russ Smith that played at Louisvle?
Yeah,
He's got his own bourbon now.
really. I'll
Yeah.
be darned. I'll be darned.
Wow, that doesn't strike me as a bourbon aficionado.
Doesn't Scottie Pippen? He's got his own bourbon now.
I did see that. That's right.
You
What
have a toast and you cuss out Michael Jordan.
Michael Jordan.
What Irish whiskey now? Bourbon is 51% corn mash. It has to be charred American unused charred white oak barrel for at least 2 years. Generally, it's 4 or more. But what's Irish whiskey made? What's the parameters for Irish whiskey? Do you know?
I have no idea, but it's good. And it makes me feel better. I have no idea what's in it. Pete, I don't know what's in it, but it's good.
Get some.
Well, that's all that matters, I guess, is it makes you feel good.
Yeah.
And this is that time of year. I can't thank you guys enough, man. I hope you both have a very happy holidays. Merry Christmas. Happy Hanukkah. Happy Festivus and everything else. But, man, I hope you guys have a great one. Is tomorrow Festivus?
Tomorrow?
What's that?
Festivus is tomorrow, right?
Festivus, I believe, is tomorrow. Yes, I have it on my calendar.
Festivus for the rest of us.
There will be many airing of grievances.
And how about some feats of strength?
I'm over that.
Man, this has been the best segment of the day, probably of the week. I can't thank you guys enough. It's been always fun. You guys are a blast.
All right, guys.
Peace out. See you guys.
Merry Christmas.
safe.
Happy
Merry
holidays.
All right.
Thank you
See you next
guys
week.
so
Bye.
much. We got lots more coming up here on Indiana Sports Beat Radio. The great Rick Bozich and Bob Kravitz joined us there. Man, it's kind of hard to top that. They're just fun. Back with more right after this.
We'll be right back to the Golf Club at Eagle Point Studios for more Indiana Sports Beat Radio with Jim Coyle, presented by Andy Moore Honda of Bloomington and Southern Stone Restaurant.
Whether it's a celebration.
If you're talking to me, I can barely hear you.
Yeah, it's because I had the door closed. Hey, do we have anybody else?
No, we have until normally we'd be done in 3 minutes, but we started late, so we have another 13 minutes.
Oh, that's it? No biggie.
Yeah, we don't have too much time.
Well, you'll probably just come on and fill that with me.
Yeah, that's no big deal. What can we let's go through some college basketball?
Hey, Rob Fennessy spoke to the media yesterday.
Well, that would have been nice to know about 15 minutes ago.
Well, I just thought about it.
I can grab something while you get going for this for the first couple minutes of this last segment, but I won't be able to talk with you. You'll have to just talk yourself while I'm pulling something. Do you want me to do that, or you want me to not worry about it?
You can grab something real quick.
Okay. Yeah, just give me 4 or 5 minutes, and I'll get a quote from him yesterday. It was yesterday, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you know what? What's his name just hit start?
Who, Keegan?
Yep.
Does he share the screen? Just play it?
I don't know what he did, but he just hit start. I was like, how'd you do that? I just hit start. I just hit play.
But was he playing it from the beginning, just letting it play through?
I think, and I just had to give him the.
See, normally I just go through and find a clip and insert it in the StreamYard.
Well, I know that's the right way to do it, but
at least he did something. I didn't know he did that for you. Good for him.
Yeah. Other than that, he just normally just sits there.
I want to get him. We're so close to getting him to be able to do the show the actual correct way, but there's some screw up way that there's a disconnect between the person, like he can hear all the sound effects, but the person on with him can't. Does that make sense? Like you wouldn't be able to hear anything. That's kind of the problem. And I don't think you'd be able to hear him either if we had it set that way. But I want to get it figured out because I still have a few more days where I'm going to be out in a couple weeks. Damn. So here we go.
And up, it's free. You can also catch Indiana Sports Beat Radio there each day at your convenience, or you can find it any place you podcast or on this station each weekday. If we're not on the station where you live, we should be. Ask for Indiana Sports Beat Radio.
This segment is brought to you by Aurora Specialty Sleep Clinic. Now back to the golf club at Eagle Point Studios for more Indiana Sports Beat Radio with Jim Coyle, presented by Andy Moore Honda of Bloomington and Southern Stone Restaurant.
Welcome back. Indiana Sports Beat Radio coming to you on this Wednesday. I hope you're having a great day. Holiday week. Christmas coming up. It will not be a white Christmas. That's for certain. And I'm okay with that. I'm way okay with that. I don't need to be driving in that. If you're traveling, hope everyone has safe travels. 5 Left suggested some Dickel for Bob. George Dickel, of course. Forrest is a Heineken guy. Peyton Manning sweetens Cove Bourbon. Not sure what that means. Yes, I will gladly trade some bourbon balls for a visor. Not a problem. Not a problem, Tim. Just now getting my coffee in, man. Christmas on a weekend. Is that how it should be? I kind of like it that way, especially because, the New Year's is always 1 week behind. And having a New Year's Eve on a Friday, kind of perfect. Because, when it's on a Wednesday, unless you're able to take that whole week off, it would be great if Christmas was on Saturday and New Year's Day was on Saturday, and you take that whole week off in between. I mean, that's just a deal to me, man. Right? Ross said his daughter dropped him off a bottle of Horse Soldier Barrel Select 104 proof. That's some good stuff there. Yeah, that Horse Soldier's. I was talking to some people about a lot of bourbon last night. Lots of it out there. What is your go-to Christmas spirit? Any eggnog drinkers out there? Why? And if eggnog's so good, why is it just had once a year? Answer me that. Riddle me that. What and exactly what is it? Doesn't it have, obviously it has eggs in it, but how can a drink with eggs in it be good? I've had it, I guess.
I hear you coming on. You just have to forget about the egg in it. I've never had it. I don't know that I can get past the fact that I'm thinking about drinking eggs.
Well, and don't forget, now they have Lactaid, which obviously is a 100% lactose-free eggnog. When did people become lactose intolerant? I did not hear that word. I don't recall hearing that phrase the entire time growing up. That's
the opposite. I feel like there were lots of people, and not myself, but lots of people.
Well, that's because you're younger than me. You're younger than me. But when I was growing up, never heard that phrase, never saw it on TV. it did not. I don't want to say it didn't exist, but was not a part of our lexicon. And now it's
just be one of
freaking
those
everywhere.
Things that, as maybe it's genetics, maybe people as they have more. I don't really know how to explain it, but maybe it's
become softer, become whinier.
I don't know. I mean, you see a lot of the same. You'll see people whining too. People talking about wanting mental health days and stuff at school.
Oh my God!
That kind of stuff.
Eggnog fudge, eggnog truffles, eggnog smoothies.
I got a clip, by the way.
I'm talking about eggnog. So let's. I forgot the word. Segue into a clip with Rob Finney. That's a great segue, right? No, I'm just kidding. I just want to make sure we get it in. Rob Finney spoke to the media yesterday in advance of tonight's game with Northern Kentucky. Let's hear what the senior guard had to say.
Yeah, for sure. I feel like we both getting the ball really well. That's my big thing. The coaches emphasize with me when I come in the game to try to pick up the energy on the defensive end. So whether it's picking guys up full court to try to dictate their offense to get them out of their sets, that's the big thing I want to do when I come in the game.
I didn't hear any audio there. Unless
you didn't hear any of that,
I did not.
That's weird. Well, he was talking about the difference between him and Xavier Johnson being in the game and what is expected of him in comparison to Xavier, and it was pretty short. I can't believe you couldn't hear that. That's new.
So, but it went out. As long as everybody else got to hear it.
I heard it. That's odd.
Well,
I feel like the last time I played a clip, whenever that was, you had the same issue. I don't remember what it was, though. But who knows? We'll have to get that figured out.
Five Left said original milkshakes used to have an egg mix in it. Huh. Not surprising. Bailey's and coffee for Forrest. You know, I'm not going to lie to you. I did buy, and I should have dropped it in my coffee, and I should have brought it in to show you this. It was like a peppermint, what they call it, a peppermint flake. It's a liqueur of some sort. I should have dropped that in this morning. Maybe tomorrow. Maybe. Just a little dab, you know. I hate that we're not doing a show Friday, really. We could all dress up.
Maybe what would you dress up as?
Well, I meant dress up in, for the holidays.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Are you coil claws? What are you?
No, I'm not a character, man. I meant like in pajamas or something.
We could do it tomorrow. Who says we can't?
Not that I wear pajamas. I don't. But
you mean sleep clothes,
which a lot of times looks like my normal clothes.
Yeah.
That's not. But yeah, I was at French Lick, actually West Baden, the other night, and that's awesome. The Christmas scene there in the dome, the gigantic Christmas tree in the middle, the lights changing colors. Pretty cool scene. Get a chance to go down there. That's an awesome place to go to. Yeah, they got to hear it. Everybody got to hear it but me. So I'm talking about the Rob Finney clip. Ellison never heard of a peanut allergy. I think I started hearing about that when I was in school. I remember that. I remember a kid, you guys, they can't have, you got to stay away from that. I'm like, what? That's a crazy one. Peanut allergy. That just because, and that can be like super bad, can it?
Yeah, people can start breaking out in hives, and I mean, yeah, and some people they have to even be hospitalized with a peanut allergy.
That's nuts.
No pun intended.
So true. The shellfish allergy. It's another one. Thank goodness I can eat peanut butter and shrimp and all this stuff that I want to eat. Man, that would drive, and drink milk if I want to drink milk. Man, I feel sorry for people that can't. Ross is asking when we go start taking callers. Remember you guys talking about it a while back.
Man, we probably a while back. Remember we got that set up a while back when Will popped on for a day.
Kind of afraid to have some of these crazy people. Never know what they're going to say.
Yeah.
You know,
I don't want to edit more than I have to.
I was going to say that puts the onus on you to have to edit out. But
if we ever do callers and you swear on the air, I'm not taking your call ever again. We'll just go.
I'll tell you what. Right what we'll have to start setting up a day, certain day, maybe Fridays.
We're too busy on Fridays right now. We need to do a day that we're lighter on guests,
or maybe Wednesday then.
Maybe.
Perfect. So yeah, man, another great day, fun day. Anytime Bob and Rick are on, is that just not a blast? And that's the point. I love having guests that just make it so fun. I just sit back and enjoy the fun, just like tomorrow when Jeffrey the Greek is on, as opposed to Friday, but he'll be on tomorrow instead. So looking forward to that. It'll be fun. Who else is on tomorrow, John?
Should have Dustin Schutte, Kyle Nedenrip, no Chris Denari though. He'll be spending time with family.
Matt Taylor.
Oh yeah, and Matt Taylor. Forgot about Matt Taylor.
Man, another big day, and we've got the Greek. So, because tomorrow's our last broadcast of the week, man.
Yep. Let's go.
If I had a Christmas hat, I'd wear it, but I don't. Y'all have a great day, man. Appreciate everybody. Thanks to everybody, especially you. Without you all, we have no reason to be here. Happy holiday week. We'll be back tomorrow for one more day. Until then, I'm Jim Coyle. I'll see you on the radio.